Good evening. Well, that was a rather quick start, guys. How are we all doing?
Very good.
Did we catch you on the hop?
Just a little bit. Maybe.
Have you got a bucket out there, Brandon?
Yeah.
Are you not like boiling? You look like
it's the ashes.
Right. Oh, that's the ashes. Is that one of the new ones?
Yeah, all of the Navy ones got sold out after about half hour of them being shown on Sky, didn't they? So,
welcome everybody. Welcome one and all. This is Talking Cricket. If you haven't seen us before, is it the like button if you're on YouTube watching? I think we're live on Facebook as well, guys. And we do have Neil can do the introductions. We do have an Australian on the show tonight. Are we allowed to sledge him there?
Of course you can. It's the law to sledge him, isn't it?
Yeah. Tell us all about Harry.
Harry accidentally clicked on Wantedale Cricket Club as a club he wants to come to in England. Now we've been looking at overseas from our club for the last 3 or 4 years. For whatever reason, it never happened. This year we made it happen. Harry's from Perth, plays for University. The full title is University of Western Australia Cricket Club, University Cricket Club for those that know. He's a top order batsman who can turn his arm over.
Have you got him sitting on a little stool there?
Yeah, he's on a little chair.
Making himself a bit taller.
Yeah, and I have lifted my chair up a little bit.
Oh, yeah, I did think that. Anyway, welcome, Harry. Thanks for joining us, mate. Hopefully you're well, and hopefully you're enjoying the lovely English weather.
Beautiful, mate. Just like back home.
It's not always like this, is it, Ian?
I wish it was.
No, it's extraordinarily good at the moment. Fantastic.
Hopefully it's set fair for 5 tests in 7 weeks. Rob will be joining us. He has got the link. He was moaning earlier, Brandon. I gave him the link.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
We are live.
He's not here.
It is 13 minutes to 9, and he's not here, but I'm sure he will. Hang on, I think we've got a private message. I can hear you, he says. Well, come and join us, Rob. Anyway, how are we all? How's the cricket going, guys? Ian, are you turning your arm over? How's the Achilles?
The Achilles is fine, but my calf that I pulled about 4 weeks ago isn't. I've had a very gentle net tonight. And I might be turning out on Sunday, but it's been very, very frustrating. I think I bowled 15 overs against St Anne's and then 12 overs the next week, and the calf went. So they're, I don't know if the captain did it on purpose to get me out the side or not. I don't know, but it's just a sign of old age, I'm afraid. So the umpires panel have been on the phone asking when I'm finally going to retire. So yeah, we're not good. And it's a shame because I'd been playing against Neil on last Saturday had I been fit. So,
poor guy.
What about you, Brandon? How are you doing in your new club? Oh, yeah, there's a big game on the horizon.
Yes. Well, I just played against my old club on Sunday, and we won by 8 runs, and I got 61. So I was fairly content with that. We've won every Saturday. Every game that matters, we've won, which is good. I haven't got a bat in all of them, which is not very desirable. But when you win them by 9 wickets, chasing 100 down in 10 overs, it happens, I suppose. But yeah, I think I'm averaging mid-30s on a Saturday when I do bat. So good.
Nice.
Good.
Don't worry, Bob. I've sent Martin a message, so hopefully he receives it, and we can let you in, and you can come and tell us all about. I think he's playing first team cricket now, isn't he, Brandon?
I think he's mentioned once or twice. Yeah.
He's got a new knee, hasn't he? He said.
Yeah.
He says that's right in the chat. Well, hopefully we'll see you soon, Rob. Anyway, let's talk about the World Test Championship then, Harry. Australia smashed India. 209 runs.
Mate. Absolutely brilliant. Came home from work, saw the score, and was absolutely pumped. So that was always nice. No, it was good to watch them. Good to watch them do well. I had my doubts. I wasn't sure how it was going to go, especially with their batting lineup, but we bowled quite well, to be fair, and did quite well. So it's nice to see us get a few wickets.
We can't have been too smug. Let's hope this isn't a sort of a thing that continues over the next 7 weeks. I want to just touch on, obviously, we'll talk about the game, Ian, but I want to touch on the overrates. Now, there was, I think, 45 overs were lost in, well, wasn't it 4.5 days cricket. So, obviously, you're playing top dollar now. Obviously, you're going to Leeds and you're Brandon for the test. How much your ticket there?
What was it? 80 odds, possibly 90 I paid.
A lot of money.
Much less than Lords.
Much less than Lords. Probably 150, probably minimum, I'd say, Lords. So they're paying a lot of money in, and we're not seeing. Look, this is not just happening now, is it? It's been going on for a long time. What do you think the solution is? Is there any solution? I've heard sort of extra runs and play 30 overs a session until you have lunch. And what would your answer be to it?
Hi, Rob.
Hi, Rob.
It's a really good question. I think we've been that's it. Yeah. I think you need to introduce the chief.
This is the chief. This is Rob, and he's got a very good beard. Are you still chairman of Haverhill Cricket Club, Rob?
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely.
There you go. So this is Harry. Harry comes from Western Australia, and he's a smug Aussie at the minute.
Evening, champ. Nice to see you.
Oh, good from you. That's
no
very
problem.
good.
No problem, mate. No problem.
So back to the overrates, Ian. What do we think?
Yeah, well, the difficulty with overrates can be where play's interrupted, because I think that that can sort of detract from the poor overrates. Obviously, when it's been such a great summer and the weather hasn't intervened, it's got to be very, very frustrating for the people that turn up. And like you say, it's not just about the ticket price; it's the time off work. If you're working, if you're not retired or whatever, it's the travel, it's everything like that. So it's the whole day, and people aren't just traveling from the local vicinity. There'll be, I've known people who've been to the game at Edgbaston. A couple of our juniors went to watch India, unfortunately. But what they tend to do with overrates in other sort of domestic cricket and in club cricket, if you're behind the rate, you've got to take a field. You've got to put another fielder in the circle. So there's options like that. Do you play longer? Well, it depends on the light. Is it a venue that's got floodlights? There's all different variables, and the problem is if you're going to have a rule, hard and fast rule, you've got to be able to apply it at all the venues for it to be consistent and have any meaning.
Like you say about playing longer, but then like you say, people travelling, then you might have to leave to catch your train or whatever to go. And look, not everyone's going to be able to stay over and whatever. Look, I know it's a can of worms. What do you think, Rob? What would your solution be?
No, I agree with Ian. To be fair, it's shocking that they don't get the overs in. Shorten the run ups down a bit. Put the midweek line down, 10 yards maximum run up after 5 o'clock. It's rubbish, isn't it? I mean, the drinks breaks every hour. Just generally, how often do they check the ball, put it through the hole, check it's circular? That happens too much. Pick 2 spinners. But we'll beat the Aussies in 3 days anyway, so it won't be a problem.
Well, we will come to the predictions later on. We've got one for the chat as well. We'll come to this later, but we want your combined England and Australia 11. So obviously, we'll probably go through who we think is going to play for England, and Harry will give us the Aussie lineup. But pick your combined England and Australia 11s, and just drop them in the chat, and we'll see whoever agrees. But I've got a bit of a shock of Brandon when we do come to that, because Ben Stokes is not in my 11.
Ben Stokes isn't in?
No.
Oh, my God.
I'm going on present day and injuries. because we can talk about him now, right? I've seen today, Brandon, I see it on Sky, obviously doing some training, strapped up, isn't he? Bowling. This knee is almost like David Beckham's metatarsal. Do we all remember that? Going to the World Cup. And this will probably be talked about all summer because do you think, Brandon, that Ben Stokes is going to get through all 5 tests in 7 weeks?
Yes. As a batsman.
Well, what about as a bowler?
Probably not. But hopefully with Ollie, Robbo and Stewie and Jimmy, we won't need him. We won't need him to bowl. We'll have the Aussie 67 all out every game. It'll be fine.
I think we will need him, won't we, Neil? I think Stokes is probably. We'll come on to Moeen Ali in a minute, but with obviously Leach's injury, and I know, look, we've chatted about Jack Leach on here nearly every single pod, haven't we? Like he does a job. I know he's not the world's greatest spinner, but obviously he's ruled out. Stokes is key, isn't he, to this? It is. I think he's key
making
to
room
this.
for Chris Wokes.
Oh, don't start.
Well, somehow, if you've got him in your best Australia England 11, I'm going to have to tell you to just take your time out for 5 minutes, please.
Okay.
I'm sure you haven't, have you?
He's got him instead of Stokes.
Just like Rich has, apparently.
No. I've got the big Aussie in mind. We'll come to that. Yeah, look, I think going back to Stokes, Ian, I think it's key because with your spinner, you'll think, I know it's Mo for the first 2. Australia will attack him. If it was Leach, they'll attack him. So I think Stokes is vital that he can bowl some overs to take the pressure off Anderson, Broad, Robinson, Wood, whoever they play, because we don't want your spinner coming on. He's bowled 3 overs. He's got carted for 30. They've got to take him off. Ben can't bowl. Jimmy's back on second. That's well, because this is what Australia will do, Ian, won't they?
Yeah, it does depend what we're going to do with the bowling lineup and who's fit and whether we're going to go in with. There might be times when we go in with all seam and therefore we don't necessarily need Stokes and we might have to rely on Root to bowl some turn. Stokes is greater than the sum of his parts. He's an inspirational leader. He can be world class with the bat and the ball. I don't know if you've been looking at my combined 11, Richard, but I've got a question mark against Stokes as well. And that's based on current form because he doesn't seem to be having to do anything with the bat and certainly with the ball. He's not really had to do a great deal there either. But it is about his leadership and he's inspirational. But I think objectively, if we're looking at combined 11s, we've got to think with our heads rather than our hearts and make rational, objective decisions. And to be honest, I've not got Stokes in my combined 11 either.
Hey, Brandon, there you go.
I'm going to send you all the link to the hour worth of Stokes batting with Leach at Headingley, and then I want you to revisit your combined 11s.
Well,
that was 4 years ago.
No, that's fair.
I watched it last night.
Look, we've all watched it till the cows come home. What about you, Harry? Have you watched it?
I've
we can
watched
send
it
you the
so
link.
many times, mate. I've watched it so many times. It was incredible. I watched it live. I reckon it was about 2 o'clock in the morning, 2, 3 o'clock back home. And we thought we had won it. We had mum, dad, Soph, my sister, all sitting on the couch partying like we'd won. And it got closer and closer. And we started panicking. We're like, oh, it's not going the way we want it to. And that was one of the best bits of cricket I reckon I've ever watched. That was something special. He's in my combined 11. Even if he's not fully fit, I've still got him in mine.
There you go, look. He knows sense. Sense.
I reckon he's brilliant.
Well, we'll come on to that in a minute. We'll do our combined 11s in a minute. Right, we're going to pick our bowling attack. So we'll start with you, Neil. Who are you picking? Because look, we know the batting lineup and we know Johnny Bairstow's keeping wicket. We're probably all not happy that Ben Foakes has been left out. I think that's probably a given. You know, we've chatted on here about Foakes keeping. We probably all see it coming when Bairstow was back for Yorkshire that was the way they were going to go. Look, fair enough. But let's pick our bowling attacks, and we'll start with you, Neil.
I've gone Anderson, Broad, Robinson, Ali, and I guess, as Ian said, probably Root as a bit of backup spin. And if Stokes can hobble through 6 overs of bouncing people, which seems to be his want over the last 18 months, that's my bowling lineup. However, what I will say, and please all don't groan at once, Harry Brook can bowl, you know.
He got his first Test wicket, didn't he, in the winter?
He can bowl. He can bowl. He bowled in the county championship for Yorkshire plenty last season. Probably because Yorkshire had an absolutely shocking bowling lineup last year.
I see they were struggling today, Neil. They let Derbyshire back in the game.
Don't get me started, please.
60 tomorrow with 4 wickets remaining,
and a dodgy David Milan who's got a groin injury.
My favourite,
actually 3 wickets remaining.
My favourite WhatsApp message in our group in the last month was when you were sledging the lineup Yorkshire had out against Lancashire.
Even started.
Unbelievable.
Right, so we'll come to you, Rob. What's your bowling lineup for Edgbaston?
Well, I think it's the same. Yeah, same as everyone. I think Anderson, Broad, Robinson, and Mo. That's job done. I don't think there's any discussion really to have. You've got to go with your best. You've got to go with your best bowlers first. There might be a chance to rest somebody, but if you look at the previous era, we tried to when we were over in Oz, we tried to be too careful and tread around eggshells of Anderson and Broad, and at the end of the day, win the first 3 games, win the series. We can have a rest then, shall we? So Anderson, Broad, Robinson, and Mo.
Where's your pace? Where's your pace? Because Mark Wood's in my team.
He's in my
Where's
team.
my pace?
You're playing on. They want to play on flat wickets.
Yeah, that's fine.
Not a lot of movement. So the sun's out. Australia win the toss. Steve Smith, Labuschagne, making hay while the sun shines. We have to have pace. I'm not going into any of these tests with Broad and Anderson playing in the same team. I think that
Have you seen them both in the county championship getting out to LBW to medium pace diddly dobblies? Both of them.
Bring back Darren Stevens.
There we go. Now we're talking.
Come on, Brandon, give me your 4.
All right now.
I'm resting Broad. Robbo, Wood, Anderson, and Moeen Ali. If I wouldn't be against, to be honest, going 4 seamers and Joe Root, because Joe Root's probably done more bowling with a red ball recently than Mo has. So.
Yeah, very true. But I think you need that. I think you need that difference, don't you, with Wood with his pace. Yeah, he was probably
I agree.
Our best bowler down under, wasn't he, in the last series?
True.
I think he got 6, didn't he, at Hobart? I think in that last test. And look, I know. Look, Stuart Broad's obviously got the wood over David Warner, but Anderson's a given to play, Brandon, because he didn't play against Ireland. Robinson's a given to play, and I think Wood's the other one, because I think you have to have that bit of pace to shock Australia, because otherwise, I think it could be.
Wouldn't be surprised if they went for all seam though. If they just wanted to get Mo back in the camp and then bring him back in after the first game, as you said, you want to pick your strongest bowlers, and arguably, if England are doing that, it's the 4 seamers. So,
true.
What are you thinking here?
Well, I mean, just sort of agreeing with a lot of what you've said there. I mean, I've gone Ali, Robinson, Broad, Anderson, simply because I think that's what they will do. I've got Anderson, stroke Wood, because we're assuming that Anderson's fit and hoping that he is. I think the danger is if we play Wood and that there's some sort of injury or he bowls too short because of the weather that we've had and the wickets that we're going to be playing on. It might well suit the Australians to, they're pretty strong off the back foot. So Ben Stokes bowling short, I think that's the worst thing that they can possibly do against the Australians. If he gets 5 wickets, by the way, later in the week, we'll just delete this podcast. All right. I think it will be the worst thing that they could do because I think they're good players off the back foot because of the wickets that they're brought up on. But I think they'll go Ali, Robinson, Broad, and Anderson, and I think as Brandon referred to Stokes as being a bit of a talisman. I think with what Broad has done to the Australians previously, you mentioned the issue with Warner. Anderson, you've got to have in the team, and Robinson's probably got a little bit more in the way of wheels than the other two. He's not as quick as Wood, but I think they will rotate over the 5 tests. I think it's 5 tests in 7 weeks or something, is it?
Yeah, pretty close.
I think they'll all play 4. Everyone will have a game where they don't play.
No,
yeah.
I mean you make a good point about Ali because he's not played any red ball for I don't know how long, and they might well choose to go with Root, and of course, as Neil says, with Brook as your backup twirler.
Who would you rather be facing, Harry? Who would you rather? Would you have Broad and Anderson in your team? Would you have a Mark Wood? Are you scared of Moeen Ali? He's got a great record against Australia. I see 65.
I reckon I could hit him with 6. I reckon I'd put him back over his head, Moeen Ali. But no, honestly, something about Broad and Anderson as an opening pair is something very special. It's something very different compared to someone like Mark Wood. They obviously bowl so well together. They're very used to bowling in a partnership. So I would probably start with Broad and Anderson and then take Mark Wood over Ollie Robinson. That's what I would do, I think. Change it up that way and then have Moeen Ali.
What about
It's
your
good you've
lineup?
said that. I reckon if Ollie hears you say that, that'll rile Ollie up, you know. That's the sort of guy he is. He'll clip that.
Oh, he just put it in the chat. Yeah.
What about your lineup? Are you is Stark being left out for you? Because I think Boland's nailed on to play, isn't he?
Yes. I think if Hazelwood's not fit, you put Boland in straight away, obviously. But I think you got to start with Stark, give him a go, start him obviously off, and then if he doesn't bowl too well, I think even after the first test, you've got to take him out and put Boland in straight away. Have Boland and say Cummins, and then Hazelwood if he's fit, Lyon, and put them in.
Yeah, well, they said that Hazelwood they'd probably be fit because that's why they didn't play him at the Oval. But I think Scott Boland, if he doesn't get selected, I think he's very unlucky because he's had a great start.
He's done well every chance he's got.
I'd rather Mitchell Stark be playing because I think we can get after him, guys. He's a bit. Look,
Like
he can on his day. Look, he's dangerous, isn't he? But I'd rather be facing him than Hazelwood. 100%.
Well, I reckon Boland will take the most wickets for Australia if he plays in this series. Just get a feeling.
Yeah.
He's a sort of bowler that just attacks the stumps, and when England is trying to bosh it everywhere, it's more than likely that they're the sort of bowlers that will succeed. Put on a spot.
English style of bowler, isn't it?
Mm.
Very English style of bowler. So you would
we
think
will come to our predictions. Who's going to be the top run scorer? But I've gone for Australia, Nathan Lyon, Brandon taking the most.
What, top run scorer? Blimey.
Come on. You
might have to get a few when they're 60 for 8.
Yeah. Let's wait and see. Anyway, what did everybody think when Moeen Ali was recalled? Because I do recall Ian did put a tweet out and he did say if he gets selected he would delete. I can't remember what you tweeted, Ian.
I just thought it was a real left field selection.
Step backwards.
A step backwards, but I guess it's the way that Brendan McCullum and Stokes roll, and probably Rob Key. And I know they've got other people in the background that work with regards to selection. I just think it's a bit of a kick in the pants for any other county spinners that are out there. Yeah. Somebody who's he's certainly not the future. He's stood down from England Test cricket once. Yeah, of course. It's a swan song possibly, and Broad and Anderson not getting any younger either. I think it was an opportunity missed personally, and if Mo goes around the park or he gets himself out because he's always played baseball, if you will. That's the way that he plays. If he comes off absolutely fantastic, he might not have to bat. We'll have to see how it goes because, we've got such a strong side. I do think it's going to be much closer than a lot of people are predicting. I just think it's, I think it's because he's not been, because he stood down, I just think it's a kick up the backside for the kick in the pants for the county spinners who should have been considered. We had an opportunity to bring a young player in and then fit into that team. They're confident, positive, winning. Now is the time to bring them in and to bed them in.
I don't disagree with you there, but if you go back, this is where I go back to Stokes' knee. And this is, if Stokes had been 100% fit, I think, Brandon, I know you wanted Ahmed in, didn't you? You wanted him in your team.
Well,
now,
in all sports, right?
If Stokes was fit, I think he might have selected him. This is why I think I totally agree with you. In this, like, you've got these people playing county cricket, doing the hard yards. Moeen Ali today, I see him saying there's no pressure on him. Well, let me tell you, Mo, because when you're at Edgbaston and Steve Smith's smashing you around the ground, I think you'll feel the pressure then. It's all right saying that, I'm not, like, this is a swan song, I'm coming back. He thought it was a joke when Ben Stokes texted him. I can see why they've picked Ali. I can. I don't think it's probably the right way to go because whoever they selected, Jack Leach, the Australians would have gone after him. Moeen Ali, the Aussies would go after him. Ahmed, they'd have gone after whoever. So I think it might. I do agree with Ian. I think it probably is a missed opportunity because Ahmed played in the winter in Pakistan. Will Jacks played in the winter in Pakistan with 6 wickets. Now they'll be playing in India next winter when we go there. So you've missed an opportunity now to bud one of them.
Yeah, I think the way I looked at it is I'm a fan of things like NFL, right? And you think about Tom Brady's story, arguably the most successful athlete, in the world, and he had to take an opportunity of someone in his position getting injured. He then came on and he took it with both hands. I just think that young Ahmed a chance, and go and get it. Go and take it with both hands.
Colin says in the chat, I've got a question for you, Brandon. Moeen Ali is a great batsman. I'll disagree with that, Colin.
Yeah,
Moeen Ali is not a great batsman.
I think he's a guy who can give it a bosh, and he's a better batsman than Jack Leach. I'll go as far as saying that. But I think I would have went with Ahmed, or if not, I know that Cook was saying that Liam Dawson's in good form and he's a very like-for-like replacement for Jack Leach and he can bat a bit as well. So it's I just think Moeen's a big step back.
Come on, Rob. You're going to stick up for Mo?
Well, 2 points really quick. So first of all, Moeen Ali was a fantastic batsman until the end of the 2022 season when he dogged us off and went back to Warwickshire. So now he's rubbish at batting now. Just walking wicket. No, I think we will all love to see him walking out 6 down and just teeing off and smacking it around. I think that's an absolute given, isn't it? No, for me, the one that was overlooked, I'm thinking Ian was in my camp was Livingston. I'd have gone Livingston because he purposely bowls off spin to left-handers, leggies to right-handers, mixture of both, which is great. Gun fielder. Walking in at 8, absolutely tonks it all over the place. And those Aussies shit themselves when they see Liam Livingston because he is a gun bat and they do not like him. So I'd have gone with Livingston as a left field, but I'm more than happy with Mo because he's 70% of the bowler, but, thousands of percent more of the bat. And it just moves Broad down to 9, or 10, sorry. Didn't like Broad batting in single figures anymore. It just lengthens the tail. And Mo's very much a baseball player. So happy enough. Livingston for me, but happy with Mo.
Neil, what are your thoughts?
I totally agree. If I was pinned down to go with anybody, I'd have gone Livingston, just for the almost like, as Rob says, the sort of Stardust aspect of it. Bit left field. What I will remind my learned friends in this room, and one in particular will know exactly what I'm about to say. Well, maybe he doesn't, but I'll remind everybody of the name Simon Kerrigan. Don't talk about bringing spinners in with little experience into an Ashes series.
He played at the Oval, didn't he? Now
horribly wrong.
Is it the Oval?
Yeah. Yeah. And he's now proing back at his old club in Preston.
Did Shane Watson get hold of him that day? Did Shane Watson get hold of him, Rob, that day?
He did, yeah. Somebody else debuted in that game, but we won't mention who. See if he notices.
Wokesy? Was it Woke?
Oh, he's gone off. That's
Oh, he's
terrible.
gone. Yeah, what a
It
surprise.
was Wokesy.
Interesting you say Kerrigan, Neil, because Jeremy played against him the other week. He's the pro at Fulham Broughton. And I don't think he ended up wicketless, but he'd been batting quite well.
But yeah, I don't particularly agree with Mo, purely on the basis of the lack of red ball time. You could make the same argument for Livingston, really, but yeah, I just think Livingston would have fitted more with the current ethos.
You going with
Well,
potential with the
Justin-
bat sort of thing, going down the
I
road.
just think he would have been. He'd have put bums on seats. Not that they need to, obviously, but I think it would have been a really brazen selection. I would have liked to have seen him done that.
So you're not exactly quaking in your boots at the prospects of Moeen Ali then, Harry?
Not so much. Don't get me wrong. He's obviously a fantastic cricketer, a very skilled bowler and batsman. But my eyes honestly lit up when I saw that.
Hang on, he's backtracking now. He was saying about 5 minutes ago. He said you do over the side screen.
I still could, I think, but no. Obviously a serious cricketer. But I did think that they should have gone. I was honestly thinking Rayan Ahmed as well. Obviously, a bit left field as well. And even Matty Parkinson as well could have got a game.
Oh, Ian's piping up now. Ian, calm down. Ian, sit back down.
He's struggling getting in the Lancashire side at the moment.
That's true, actually, yeah. But even, Livingston, actually, I didn't even think of that. That actually would have been a really good idea. I don't mind that.
Right.
Not been fit. How is this England batting lineup going to go against the Australians? Because we've been told, Brandon, we couldn't do it against New Zealand. We've done it against New Zealand. We can't do it against India. We've done it against everybody, right? But we are stepping up a level here. You know, Pat Cummins, Boland, Hazelwood, Lyon, Cameron Green. What are you thinking?
I think we'll be one down early on because Crawley won't get many, but I reckon the rest will do absolutely fine.
Is that what you think? Honestly, hand on heart.
That is what I think, honestly. Hand on heart.
Come on, Ian. Talk some sense to me.
Well, now you're asking. Listen, I think you're absolutely right. Everybody said, "Oh, they've done it against so-called lesser sides. They won't do it against India. Oh, they're not going to be able to do it against the Australians." We'll see because they're on the crest of a wave. They'll be confident. What I would say is that there's one or two players that might be. I know some have played county cricket. Some might be a little, undercooked. So a lot of the batters didn't even get a chance to bat against Ireland.
Yeah.
And the Aussies some of them have been plying the trade in the county game and getting ready for the test matches. And then obviously a game against India, they're more prepared than some of our players. So we shall see. I've got reservations about some of the players. Like you say, Crawley might find it very difficult against this attack that are going to want him to nick off to the slips, and he often helps them do it.
Yes.
So we will have to see, but they're a fantastic side at the moment, and they're confident, and it will be tough for the Aussies, but the Aussies will be saying bring it on, and England are not going to change the style of play, which isn't slogging. It's positive cricket, it's proper cricket, but we'll see. But they'll risk losing in order to win. So it should be a good series.
Yeah, we're not going to take a step back, are we? Now, even if we get bowled out for 100 on the first morning, I just think they'll probably go harder. That might be their downfall. That might be their downfall. But look, we're not going to die wondering. This summer, it'll be a really good watch. It's probably, I'd say, like obviously 2005. We all remember that. But I think where Test cricket is at the minute, with all the franchise leagues popping up, I think we really need a really good, close Ashes series, because obviously when we've gone down under, we've been pumped, haven't we? 10, 11 was the only time. But obviously over here, Australia not won it since 2001. So they probably should have won that last series, Harry. You should have won the last series in 19. We talked about, obviously, the Headingley game. But I think, like I just said, Neil, I think for Test cricket, we need a really good, tight series.
Yeah, I think it will be. And I think, what we just discussed about the batting order, my only concern is again, top of the order. If we lose a couple quickly and it exposes that middle order too quickly, I think that's then where we get into trouble trying to chase the game and trying to counter-attack too quickly. I think we still need that basis. So as long as we can get away to reasonable starts and Duckett continues his good form, I also hold no hope for Crawley whatsoever. So I am absolutely hoping and praying Duckett can get his way to a good start at the top. I genuinely think, you mentioned 2005, if all these players across these two teams perform, this could be something to behold this series.
Yeah. We should be looking forward to it, Rob, shouldn't we, really? We shouldn't be... Look, Australia are a good side. I don't think we can sit here and say they're not. Are they unbeatable? Definitely not. Obviously, like I said, 2001 is the last time they've won it. And it's going to be your Warners, probably maybe even Smith, Khawaja. It's going to be their last chance at getting an Ashes win in England. So they're going to be up for it. But I don't think we've got anything to be worried about. And I think, obviously, Baz and Stokes will make them feel on top of the world when they go out there that first morning at Edgbaston on Friday. They should be absolutely buzzing for this.
Yeah, I can't wait. I mean, just counting down the hours now. Roll on Edgbaston Friday. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. Both sides will think they can do a job. The Aussies are, they'll be confident. They won't be cock a hoop about beating a poor India side last week. They're always going to win that game, I think, because they're more used to the conditions. But they've got a few weaknesses. Have we? I think maybe our weaknesses probably is our strength in the fact that we're going to go that hard. I think the way we're going to go at it, we can't win 5-0. I'd love to say 5-0. I think we will get rolled for 60 in one of the games or something weird will happen because of the way we go. I think, without giving away my prediction, I think we'll slip up once. Ideally, not like 05. It's not Lords. It's not the first test. Bit of momentum. But, there is that weakness that we've got. I think Lions and off-spinner. No one here should really be afraid of an off-spinner on either side. So spin won't play a big part. Bowling resources, yeah. I think Boland's their best bowler. I agree with what comments have come through so far. Hazelwood's class. I don't rate Stark at all. He's poor man's Mitchell Johnson. Have we got 5 tests per bowler? No. We all know we need to rotate. Crawley's a weakness, yes. Warner's a massive weakness for them. They know that Broad, he's a walking wicket. Khawaja goes well recently, but does he go well in England? Smith and Labuschagne, absolute class. Head, dodgy Tash, good player. It is. It's a dodgy. All Tashes are dodgy, unless they're attached to a full beard.
I think we'll go just quickly on Travis Head, Harry. I think England will go short of him. I think India showed. I know he got 160, but there's a little bit of a weakness maybe against a short ball. So I think that's how they'll possibly go at him. Do you think?
I think you're right. Absolutely. He did look a little uncomfortable against a short ball, but I reckon he would have done a fair bit of work after seeing that posted all over social media. He would have been doing a fair bit of work on that. So it'll either come off or it won't. I think he'll go just as hard, same as you guys. He'll go the same way no matter what, and it'll come off in some games and it probably won't in some others.
What about Davey Warner? How's he going to go? Because obviously he's announced a bit of a long retirement.
He's a long way off retiring. I don't know why he did that so early. I really have no idea. I reckon he'll either blow it out of the water or he'll end up with 60, 80, 100 runs for the whole 5 tests. I think Broad has his number.
What do you reckon? Nicking off again, Rob? Nicking off?
Yeah.
Nick off. We'll go Nick off, second slip, off stump out the ground leaving, LBW leaving, and a rogue hit wicket.
Just quickly there, you were touching on about leaving. Now, did you see the stat in the Ireland test that Ben Duckett had left 8 balls, Rob, in, was it?
660 balls or something like that.
Yeah, it's like it's moving towards less than 2%. He blocked Sorry.
Unbelievable.
He left 5 balls in Pakistan over the 3 games and New Zealand. And then he left 3 early on against Ireland, because it was doing a bit, with their 72-mile-an-hour seamers, rolling second 11 stuff at Lords. And, it's a good stat. For me, he just is Warner. He's little, he's irritating, left-hander, crabby, tees off. Yeah, no, he's like for like, and I'd probably back him, in a run scoring tally sort of thing. I think Duckett's probably going to get more than Warner. I am biased, but I like it. I didn't rate it when he came in, but as long as it wasn't Jennings, I was happy. So
that's fair.
Right, look at you.
Oh no, hey, I was. There are pods available that had me calling for Ben Duckett, so I'm in Rob's corner there.
You did. Right, let's get to our combined England Australia 11. Go on out there. Right, Brandon. Give me your 2 openers.
You got Warner around, have you, Rich?
Warner in my team.
Oh.
In my 11. Come on, give me your openers.
You've got Warner?
Yes.
Duckett and Head.
What?
Travis. There you go. Right, Ian, your 2 openers.
Openers, Duckett and Labuschagne.
Harry, who have you got opening?
Duckett and Khawaja.
Ooh. Neil?
No collusion, but Duckett and Khawaja.
Ah.
Being in class.
I didn't know that until he just read that out.
Rob?
Yeah, I'm with the Brains Committee up there. Yeah.
You going Duckett and Head too?
Cheap laughs, Brandon. Cheap laughs. Duckett and Khawaja all day long. Warner's a walking wicket. Crawley's rubbish. Just leaves 2, doesn't it? I'm not messing about with other players.
I've got Warner because I think he's going to have a big series, and I've also gone Neil for Harry Brook to open.
Well, I was calling for it a number of months ago.
I can't get him in anywhere else with my middle order. So,
well, surely you've got him in Priest bowling.
Well, yeah, possibly. We've not got Stokes in my team, so he could.
Head actually did open for Australia this year, I believe, in February. He opened in a second innings of a game in February.
Where was that? Was that in India?
No, I imagine if it's in February, it was probably in Australia, was it? Was it not?
Can't remember, to be honest with you.
I read somewhere.
Harry doesn't want to talk about when Australia went to India because they got absolutely pumped.
I can't remember when he opened, to be honest with you.
He's wiped that out of his memories. Right, so who have we got as our number 3s? I'll start. I've got Marnus Labuschagne at number 3. Ian.
Same.
Smith.
Rob.
Loose bus change.
Neil.
Labuschagne.
Harry.
Labuschagne.
Who have you got, Brandon? Chris Wokes?
I've got Marnus.
Oh, there you go. What about number? Number
Travis
4?
Head he did open in India in February. He averaged 73, I think I just read.
Who have you got 4, Brandon?
Joe Root.
Rob?
Stephen Smith.
Ian?
Root.
Harry?
I've got Smudge.
Neil?
Root.
Yeah, I've got Joe Root. And I've got Smith at 5. So
I've also got Smith at 5.
Rob?
Root 5. I just think, without much thought going into it, but like retrospectively thinking about it right now, the later Root goes in, the better, I think. The older that ball is.
Yeah, possibly.
Get the reverse ramp out. See you, Stark.
I've got Brook at 5.
Have you got Joe Root in your team here?
Yeah, I had him at 4.
Yeah, he doesn't have Smith. He doesn't have Smith. You have Smith.
I had Smith at 3.
He did.
There you go.
Oh, right. You had Marnus open, didn't you? Sorry.
Who have you got 5, guys? Neil and Harry?
I've got Travis Head.
I've got Smith.
Right. Let's come to our all-rounders. Now, you laughed at me earlier, Brandon. I'm going Cameron Green. this guy can do it all. He's smashed the ball out the park. He can bowl about 85 miles an hour, and he can pluck catches one-handed, even though
How many
Even off
test
the
hundreds he
floor.
got, Rich?
Pardon?
How many test hundreds he got?
Don't worry about that. I'm picking him on what he's going to do.
That's nice. I don't need an all-rounder with this team. I've got
He's still very green.
I've got Root and Labuschagne
What's it?
and Smith who can all bowl some spin, so they'll cover some overs.
So-
Ben Stokes next.
Ian, who have you got 6? Because you've not got Stokes, have you?
Stokes captain as well.
No, I've actually slotted Bairstow in at 6 because I think even though parking the Ben Folkes situation to one side, I think he's a better option than Carey. So
Is Bairstow, has he got the gloves for you in your team?
yes, he has.
Oh, interesting.
Which goes against a lot of things I've said previously, but I'm going off what we've
This is
got
its
now.
own pod. It's all right.
Who
Ian.
have you got at 6, Rob?
I've got Harry Brook at 6, and then I got Folkes at 7. Unless you want to tell me off.
Well, I've got Folkes at 7. I've got Folkes at 7 in my team. What about you, Neil? Who you got?
I've got Bairstow.
Who you got, Harry?
I'm happy with that.
Cameron
I've
Green?
got Stokes. I've got Stokes.
Oh, wow. Who have you got 7, Brandon? Who's your keeper?
Bairstow. Bairstow's my keeper.
You know, having Folkes in.
No, he's not available, is he?
He's available.
Well, I thought we were doing a combined Ashes 11, and from
We are.
my knowledge, he's not in the squad for the Ashes.
It's only the squad for the first 2 tests.
All right. I'll change my
I'm-
openers then. I'll take Head out and I'll put Cook in.
To be fair, I'm with Brandon. I must admit the remit I interpreted the same as Brandon, so I've just gone with the squads that were available. Because obviously I've had Josh Bohannon in at 6. So
Hang on. People laughed at him when you said Ben Duckett. So don't.
he did. They
Have you
laughed
chucked
hard.
him away in about 3 or 4 months' time? Yeah, so look, I'll have folks. I'll hold my hands up. I'll still have folks in. Who's your keeper, Harry?
I had Bairstow, but if we're going off saying players who aren't in that first 2 test squad, I would have gone Folkes as well. I do rate him. I reckon he's brilliant.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see him for the summer, will we, Brandon? To be honest.
No. And if we could have it our way, Rich, Sam Curran would be playing, wouldn't he?
He'd probably be at 8 in my team, mate.
Yeah, there you go.
He probably is number 8.
He's banged 3 in the T20s at Surrey and smashing it.
Is it Tom Curran now a batsman? I'm really confused.
Well, he's had back trouble. He's had a stress fracture, so he's just playing as a batsman.
And Jamie Overton.
At Miles. Teeing off.
Jimbo.
His dad was a good player, wasn't he, Ian? Kevin Curran.
Oh yeah, very much so. Yeah.
He was very good.
Missed.
Right. Let's go for number 8. Who have we got, Rob?
Well, because I've got Folkes at 7, I'm picking a specialist keeper because with the amount of batting I've got and the amount of bowling I've got, I can afford a specialist keeper. I can also afford, I'm just absolute bowling attack. I've got Cummins at 8.
Yeah.
I can. What do you want? Just like
number 8, Brandon.
Chris Stokes.
So boring.
So pretty.
No, I've got Cummins. It's all right. I've got Patty Cummins.
Paddy Cam.
Ian.
Cummins.
You too, Cummins.
Well, I didn't do my number 7, by the way.
Oh, sorry.
So, because I had Bairstow at 6. So I'll go Cummins at 7 and number 8, Lion Stark.
Ooh, tail.
Yeah, I know, but come on. We're talking about world-class batters. Batters bat, bowlers bowl. That's
Exactly.
cricket.
Same point.
Oh, and the wicket-keeper sits in the middle somewhere. Let's not forget about the wicket-keeper. Sure.
So you got Cummins at 7 and Stark at 8, yeah?
Yeah.
Interesting. Harry?
I had Cummins.
What about 9? Who've you got 9?
At 9, I have got Stuart Broad.
Oof.
I've got Ollie Robinson. Who have you gone for, Ian?
Stark.
Brandon.
Just checking my notes. Please come back to me.
Oh, Rob.
Scotty Boland.
I want variation of angle.
Well, you've got Boland in your team.
Absolutely. He will be top wicket taker for them. He, like someone said, he bowls English line and length. He just has a knack of taking too many wickets. He's strong. He's quite new. He's quite fresh. We're not used to him. We're used to all the others. We've faced them for 10 years. They haven't changed the attack for 10 years. So Boland, 9. Too high, like batting-wise, but it doesn't matter because I've got 2 gun bowlers behind him. So, yeah.
Brandon.
Ollie Robinson. I'll check my notes.
Thank you. Not about number 10. Who have you got number 10?
I've got Stuart Broad at number 10.
Ian.
James Anderson.
Oh, he's at 10.
I've gone for Jimmy at 10.
Has he got Monty Bannister at 11 or what?
Rob.
Well, I've got Nathan Lyon at 10 because somebody else is 11.
Well, look, I've got Nathan Lyon. He's my next, but look, they could argue. He's a little bit better batsman, isn't he? I suppose.
Yeah.
Anderson's got an 81 to his name in Test cricket.
I think you'd have got 81 on that wicket against India.
Let's not be silly.
I think you probably would. Neil, who've you got 10? 10 and 11.
I'm actually going to change it. I had Lyon 9, Broad 10. I'm going to change it. Broad 9, Lyon 10, Anderson 11. Was my 9-10 Jack.
Harry?
I've got Lyon at 10, Anderson at 11.
Is that everybody done? Have we done yours, Ian?
I had Lyon at 11.
Rob?
In this Anderson Lyon situation.
I'm not there.
I just think if you're batting Anderson ahead of Lyon, you're daft because it's probably he averages 10 more than him, and he has intent. Anderson has just got a reverse sweep or a lead or a nothing.
What's your point?
Brandon, if it gets you runs in Division 4, you keep doing it, mate.
It's Bazball, Rob. Bazball. Anderson 11.
Just quickly on that, you can have a bit of banter. You will not be playing against Brandon, Rob. Then you're now in the first 11.
Yeah, I seem to be doing okay. Captain Big Juicy Ben Wilkins seems to like me around the boys, so yeah, I've been getting a few at number 6. You know,
not because you're head of selection because you're chairman of the club. Then
no, it's Captain picks a side. Mate. Captain picks a side. He might pop up in the chat if we're lucky and reconfirm that. But
he was in earlier.
Yeah,
see him in earlier.
He's a good player. Yeah, I reckon you got to be favourites coming to us though, Brandon, with all that money you lot are paying out. So, yeah.
All that money we're paying out. We've just got loads of badges who play for us who know how to play cricket. That's all you need. A couple of badges.
Good, couple of years. If you find your level in a couple of years, it'll be good.
Right.
Oh, mate.
So we've done our combined 11s. Now let's get on to our predictions. We'll first go for top England run scorer, Brandon.
Now, this is going to be very boring, but it's going to be Joe Root.
Okay. Rob.
Very boring.
England run score will be Harry Brook. He's the best player in the world, and he averages 90, and it's only going to go upwards.
Ian.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna stick with Duckett because he proved me right in the past, and I want him to prove me right again.
Ian and Harry, who are you going for?
Brook for me, surprisingly.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Joe Root. I'm going to go Joe Root.
Well, I'm not going to go for Root. I'm not going to go for Brook because I knew that Neil would definitely go for Brook. I'm going to go for the new vice captain. I'm going to go for Ollie Pope.
Knew you were going to do that, Rich. You have Surrey in you somewhere, don't you? With all your love.
Ollie Pope. He will probably skip one game this series because Stokes will not play all 5.
Disagree.
There you go. Right. Top England bowler, Brandon.
Ollie Robinson.
Agreed. Neil?
Yeah, totally agree.
Harry?
I'm going to go Stuart Broad.
Rob?
Yeah, Ollie Robinson, because he's more likely to play 4 to 5 games, isn't he?
Ian?
Yeah, my head says Robinson because I think they'll probably rotate
Your heart says Parkinson, doesn't it?
But my heart says Anderson. It could be a final time for old time's sake.
Right. Now let's go.
I don't even think Parky will be taking out drinks. I think he's been dropped from that as well.
Bless him.
Bless
We had a lot of chat about him, didn't we, back in the day?
You all upset him, and it's ruined his form.
Right. We'll go to Aussie top run scorer and top wicket taker. Harry can lead us off.
I'm going to go Smith with the bat. And I'm going to go left field. I'm going to Lyon with the ball.
Oh. Well, I've got Nathan Lyon, and I'll go Amartya Labuschagne. So, Brandon.
I'm also going to go Marnus Labuschagne, and I'm going to go with Scott Boland if they back him. If not, it'll be Patty Cummins, won't it? But
Robbie?
Yeah, I like the shout, Harry. Lyon, I think he'll play all 5, won't he? But I just think, like I've already mentioned, Boland's just fresher, isn't he? Just bowls good English areas. So Boland for me for wickets and Marnus for runs. I think it's between Marnus and Steve. Travis Head, obviously, most runs last time, but I think Warner and Khawaja and Green don't get a look in, do they?
Get about 10 runs between them.
Yeah. Ian?
Well, Labuschagne, I think, because I think he occupies the crease, doesn't he? I think he's
good temperament.
I think he's got a very good temperament. Bowling wise, I think Pat Cummins. I think he's going to have a good series. Lyon's a good shout, especially if he's batting 11 after Anderson. He'll have more energy. Labuschagne and Cummins, not the most left field choices there.
Right, so let's do the big one now, the series prediction. And we'll start with you, Rob, because I know you are always ultra...
Right. I'm normally right, mate.
Well, yeah. We'll see if you're right this summer. Take it away.
Well, mate, I've got a bit of skin in the game, so I've had a tenner on it as well. 10-1. 4-1 England. We'll get one wrong. One will go up the Swanee, but we'll have too much. They won't know what's going on. 4-1.
Brandon.
3-1. I think flat pitches. I think there'll be a game when Australia just bat for bloody ages, and they think, we'll bowl them out, and then we'll just smash another 400, and it'll just be about 2,000 runs in the Test match, and everyone will just be watching batting for 5 days, which isn't that bad. And there might be some weather. We are in England after all. I think Australia will do us at Lords. It tends to be a bit of a theme, doesn't it?
Yeah. Ian.
Well, there'll be people in the chat who will be happy to hear that I'll be going for a prediction of 2-all.
Very good.
I think there will be weather about. I think it'll probably be thunderstorms at Headingley just to cheer Neil up. But I think it's going to be a really good series. I don't think it's going to be all one way, and I think it's going to be 2-all.
Come on, Harry. Back your
I'm going to
boys.
go 3-2 to Australia.
Good man.
Kick him out, Rich.
He can't. He's Neil's got radiator.
Neil goes with him.
I feel like with your style of... Oh, sorry, you go, Matt.
Go on, Neil. What are you thinking?
I'm going to go 2-2. I just think there'll be nothing to split these two teams.
Right. So I'm going to be the doom monger. I am going England 1, Australia 3.
Crikey.
Wow.
I think...
I like your thinking.
I think overall... Look, I think it's going to... I think there'll be some weather around one test. I think there'll be some tight games. I just think overall, Australia, I think they're a better team than us. I don't want to be sitting here and be doom and gloom. And look, I'd be happy to sit here, Brandon, in about 7 weeks' time and eat humble pie. I really would. But I just think overall, I think their bowling's better than ours. And I think they... and I think they've got in Smith and Labuschagne. I think they're going to score plenty of runs this summer. So Look, I hope I'm wrong. But I'm going 3-1 Australia.
We actually, Rich, you did actually cut Harry off as he was about to give us his reasons behind 3-2. So I think we should go back to Harry and let him say why it's going to be 3-2.
Right. Well, I think because obviously I was going to bring up Duckett's stat about leaving the ball, actually, but you guys beat me to it. I think leaving 8 balls against Stark, Cummins, Hazelwood, Lyon, I just don't think it's going to work quite that well for him. I think he's going to get maybe found out a little bit like that. But there are going to be games where he's just going to go for it and it is going to come off. It's going to be the games that you guys win are going to be one in your top 5. I think that's where all the runs are going to come from. That's where you're going to demolish us. And then the ones we win are obviously, I reckon, with the bat. I reckon we outplay you with the bat and we just bat all day. And then our bowlers take the wickets as you guys try and go too hard. I think that's the way it's going to play out.
I would say that I think Australia could bat for 4 days and England would beat them batting in 1. But
probably do it in a session, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but I think we all know there's going to be a couple of innings in this series where England are going to get bowled out for double figures, and that's going to happen. But thankfully, you bat twice in a Test match, and the other team have to bat on the same pitch twice as well. So, I think it's going to be pretty.
Ben has said that we're entertaining. It's fun. I've got a question for you because I know probably what the answer is going to be with you. Surely, this is the Ashes. It's the biggest series that we play. Surely it's all about winning. Fun is all well and good having fun and entertaining, but surely it comes down to winning.
But England seem to think that is their best chance of winning.
Yeah, possibly. But I agree with Brandon. It's probably going to go tits up at least 1 or 2 innings in this series, and it's how we come back from that, Neil. It's probably we'll just go harder. I think we all probably know how we're going to go, but I think we will probably self-destruct a couple of times.
I get the idea that it's going to go tits up a couple of times, but I think what the players will do, if they are going hard at it and it isn't working and they are under the pump a little bit, I think this bravado of, well, we'll just go harder, and I get it. I think they'll be a little bit smarter than that. As you say, this is the Ashes. And I think that they will. They won't just sort of go for it and get stuffed in 3 days or whatever. I think they'll knuckle down when they have to. Players like Joe Root, I don't think it's within them just to sort of start slogging or whatever. They will play that brand of cricket, but I think there will be times when they rein it in because it is the Ashes. So we'll see. I might be wrong.
We got Nigel Price there in the chat, Rob. He says fear our bowling lineup is getting a bit injury prone. What do you think to that?
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Especially with 5 in 7 weeks.
Yeah, and I think we'll rotate, won't we? Anderson's 41, Broad 36, 37. But we know we're going to rotate those boys. And like I've said, if we can get away with playing them three tests in a row and be 3-0 up, then it doesn't really matter, does it? But also Robinson, talked about before. We were all critical of Robinson. He's gone away, 18 months ago, hit the gym, loves the gym, addicted to the gym, fit as a fiddle now. Good on him. He's not injury prone at all. Moeen Ali isn't injury prone. Mark Wood, yeah, of course. But they've got the production line ready. Stone, such a shame about Jofra. Jesus Christ, you haven't mentioned him. But a little bit.
Tom, where does he fit in?
Who?
Tom. Do you think he'll play a test?
Tongue? Oh, the Worcester boy. No, I think he's behind Potts. We haven't mentioned Potts.
Wokes as well.
He's behind Potts. He's certainly ahead of Wokes. And Brandon, yourself, you're ahead of Wokes as well, in my opinion.
Chris Wokes is one of the most talented cricketers on this planet Earth.
Yeah, but they don't pick him anymore, do they, mate? Because he's absolute trolley.
He's been injured, isn't he? That's why. Been injured.
It's like a new sitcom, this, isn't it?
I don't think he plays it. He doesn't play a test, does he, this summer, Brandon? Come on.
Why not?
Who's he playing instead of?
Because everybody else is better than him. There you go.
I think he'd do a better job opening the bat than Zach Crawley, but that's
no, that's fair enough. Yeah, I'll give you that one.
Well, right. Anyway, we have got a women's Ashes, haven't we, Rob? Coming up. Starts on
Absolutely.
22nd of June at Trent Bridge. I think the ticket sales, they're selling really well. I was reading the other. I think it's only 15 quid if you want to go to Nottingham for the test match, which I think is really, really good. And it's obviously they do it's 4 points for the test win, and then you've got the T20s and the ODIs 2 points. So you've got 7 games there. Got a couple of new names in the squad. Danielle Gibson, Lauren Filler. What are we thinking? What are we thinking, Rob? Can we finally beat Australian women? Quick question for the panel. Are Australian women one of the best sports team in the world?
They are when they've got Meg Lanning playing, who's not only captain but best player in the world. But what are we down? We're down Catherine Siver-Brunt, who's on a bit of a down. She was on a bit of a downer anyway. Anya Shrubsole, less said, the better, I think, potentially, with regards to how she closed out her career with England. But, you look at the lineup, Knight, Beaumont, Capsey, Class, Dunkley's come into it. Eccleston's the best bowler in the world. We've all seen that footage of her bowling against the fellas. I said before on the pod, I think she's a better bowler than Leach. Amy Jones, decent. Nat Siver-Brunt, one of the best players in the world. Love Danny Wyatt. Izzy Wong, quick. Loves it. The Aussies will hate her because she'll be right.
Izzy Wong, good cricketer.
Yeah, and Lauren Bell. That's a good team. I haven't seen enough of them to be really to comment too much. But names on paper, looking at the stuff from last summer, that's a good lineup. As I said, without Lanning, and over in our place, 5-day test, big crowds. Yeah, let's get around it.
Rob, it's nice that they're going to actually play 5 days.
Yeah, it's 5 days. Well, it's just they just draw the women's test is drawn so much. So I think, to be honest, without calling it Bazball whatsoever or John Lewis ball, whatever, it will be a slightly different brand of cricket. They're looking at Capsey and they're looking at Wyatt. I don't know if they'll play necessarily, but they're more Bazballers, aren't they? They're 20 overs. These girls come from playing 50 over cricket, 20 over cricket, and then expected to bat all day for 25 off 100. It's tough, and they have notoriously grounded out ball draws before, but I think England will go hard. I think the Aussies will too. It might not even last 5 days, but that's probably a good thing, isn't it? But I think there'll be some big numbers. England at home, I'm going to back them. Always do.
Just on your comment there, Rich, about are they the best team, one of the best teams in the world or whatever. Yep. This is a whole new podcast again, and we've discussed this previously about the Aussie grade system and why do they produce good young players and we're not, etc., etc. You look at the Australian women's club cricket setup, there is no wonder why they are so far ahead of everybody else. It's as simple as that.
But they were very professional very early on, weren't they?
Yeah.
And
you look at our club cricket system and we're playing massive catch-up. So, yeah. There's your answer in a nutshell.
Just a quick question for Rob. The John Lewis ball, is it like Bazball, but it's got a really good returns policy?
It's got very high. It's got excellent customer service, and the advert around Christmas is to die for.
Excellent. Thank you for that.
Well, I think it's going to be a great summer. You've got the men's and the women sort of running alongside each other, so it's going to be. I think it's going to be a great summer. Hopefully England come out on top in both, but we'll have to wait and see. I don't think we're going to do a pod after the first test because mine's on holiday. So check the old socials because I will put out when the next pod in, but we'll try and do one sort of after every test and we'll do some women's chat.
Daily report, shall we? Should we split the daily
report? We'll do the daily reports on Twitter. If anyone else watching wants to get involved, just like I think we can do, is it 2 minutes? You've actually got a Twitter account now, Brandon, haven't you? I see tonight. You finally entered.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Is it called Kevin and Perry Go Large?
It was actually just because Ipswich were doing all right, and I liked seeing positive comments from Ipswich fans because it doesn't happen very often.
This is actually the first time I've seen Neil since Sheffield Wednesday got promoted. So I'd like to say congratulations.
Well done, Neil.
Well done.
Yeah. The smugness from Ipswich fans before we got promoted was a bit overriding, but yeah, at least we're there now. At least we're there.
Yeah. Interesting.
You and Notts County both done it. I'm proud.
And Harry's a new Sheffield Wednesday fan, by the way.
I've been recruited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's your favourite
All
player?
Handcuffs are a bit
If you
tight,
say-
Harry. Just give us a
If you
shout.
say Barry Bannon, you're not allowed back to the pod. I'm about most overrated footballer I've ever seen in my life.
Come on,
Anyway.
right, this is a cricket pod, and we'd like to thank everyone who joined tonight in the chat. Like I say, if you haven't hit the like button, press the like button. He's Brandon, he's Rob, he's Ian, he's Neil. Thank you very much, Harry, for joining us. Hopefully you'll come back again.
Absolutely, mate. You
Top
shall have me.
stuff.
Tears.
I'm
Thanks,
And we'll see you all in the next show. Come on, England.